What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Latest film room. We have to break down Kenny Pickett. The Browns made a trade to bring in another body to the quarterback room, shipping out Dorian Thompson-Robinson, bringing in Kenny Pickett. Close feelings here. Pittsburgh quarterback for a couple of years. Is he what we remember? I really wanted to go back and watch what he did with the Eagles, because I think there's obviously a desire to see him outside of Matt Canada's offense for 2 years that he was with in Pittsburgh, and a desire to see him with, talent around him. I think the Eagles have the most talented collective offense around a quarterback between offensive line, tight end, and wide receiver, and obviously running back. And that usually can give us a better feel of like the volume, the style of play around the quarterback, and then obviously the talent around him is better collectively. Does that produce a better result? So I wanted to cut on last year's tape, talk through Pickett, and then, see what we come up with. So let's jump into the tape right now. So we go through as much of last year as we possibly can. Within reason, we try to break up, his two performances on the field. He got in some late games. He actually even threw a ball in the Super Bowl, but we're not going to spend time on that. Really just time that he was preparing to start and started. I wanted to go through those with you. So what we start with is the idea here with Pickett, and it's a lot of high-low reads. I think that's what the Eagles usually try to do, split field, high-low reads. Not anything you don't know, not anything teams aren't doing across the league, but if he's a rhythm thrower, if he's a spot thrower, that's where he is best. Now, if we remember from coming out in the draft, and then we remember from his time in Pittsburgh, not in any way, shape, or form, an elite arm. So really what he has to do is play the game a beat ahead. He has to be able to throw within structure. He has to be able to read things correctly, and he cannot be late. As you can see here, not a ton of zip on this football to the sideline, but as long as the football is out before the break, he's got a chance to get this thing caught, right? It's got to be out in time and rhythm. Good ball here. And he has some moments in these two games where anticipatorily reads it. You can sense it's a heated up look here. Can he throw number 3 on the corner route over top, read it outright, correct throw, correct timing, and he can get it done, right? So if the scheme and the structure is in place, for the most part, he is able to get it done with some efficiency. The thing that I worry about, and we'll talk about later, is the micro accuracy stuff for him is not always as good as it needs to be for a guy who has to rely on that as a big part of his game, right? So we're just throwing the stick with the speed out on the left side, put it on him, right? We'd like it a little more on the sideline, but ultimately is completable throw, right? You got to be able to complete these timing rhythm throws early downs, and he does a pretty good job of it. And I kind of wanted to highlight some of these as best we can. Okay, so we're looking at a 2x2, throwing this to left side fade. Again, good work from Devontae Smith to get inside the numbers and then work back out. Gets the corner to flip the hips. And again, throwing up the sideline's never been a problem for Pickett. He can usually deliver these with some accuracy, puts it in a good spot, and delivers a catchable football up the sideline. That's a place that he's always been comfortable throwing. And obviously Pittsburgh's offense asked him to do a good amount of that, right? All right, now we're down inside the high red zone, 2x2 down here. Again, square in with a speed, not a speed up, more of a sail. This is a popular thing that the Eagles like to do. They like to give you a square in with an over the top. There's different names for this in different offenses, but a lot of teams like to do this to challenge 2x2 rules. And Pickett is definitely accustomed to throwing these square in routes, accurate delivery on time. Again, doing this decently, keeping the offense moving in these late season games that Jalen Hurts was out. I think he started this one. The next one he played as long as he could before he got hurt. Obviously, I actually think he started the Washington game, and then the next one was where he ultimately got hurt. But again, these one-on-ones down corner into the boundary, obviously playing a man-to-man role, just throwing it with time, on time, tempo. So these underneath, these short throws, these 0 to 9s, for the most part is accurate. Not accurate enough, and we'll look at some of these where he has some issues, but for the most part accurate enough. We're just going to get a mesh concept into the boundary here. Does a good job of pushing out to the left, kind of feeling this inside stunt, pushing out left, finding the shallow, finding it, giving him an answer, easy pickup. I think the simple stuff he'll be able to do at a much higher level than Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The simple things, the simple reads, the simple throws, playing more on time and playing with more accuracy, I think is something that he will just be able to do. But then comes the bigger questions of what's that worth to your offense? What's that worth to your franchise who's trying to find an answer at the first quarterback position, not maybe the second or third, We're just going to get a sort of quick stem. It's a one-step slant down here. It's a good low red zone play. Teams like to run it against especially man-heavy teams, right? Get the football out quick, one-step throw, touchdown stuff. This is, again, he's operating the baseline of what they're asking him to do efficiently. And I think for the most part, Philly, this is why they wanted to trade for him, because they thought he can make a lot of their offense requires quick decisions, quick throws, right? Get it out in space, and let the talented wide receiver group, the tight ends that they have, make some plays and get some yards after catch. So we see a lot of that in these two games as they try to make him comfortable and try to allow him to just be a one read player. Because I think when you ask Pickett to read two sides of the field, oftentimes that's where you'll get into trouble. So again, looking at a wide side throw here, just more of a stop curl, but the football has to be out on time, right? Football's out of his hand before the break happens. This is good. This is in rhythm. This is in structure. This is where he can find success, right? So again, nice read, nice route. Continuing on, 2x2. We like this football to be thrown in structure. We don't need to step up and run out because the sail is there. Fit it in the window, right? We can fit this football in right here, but that's okay too. He's not a bad athlete by any stretch. Get out, sell that underneath defender to come down on the shallow from AJ Brown, and then drop it right behind him, right? So on a third down, pick it up, keep it moving. Effective enough, right? Same game now, working back into a two-man backfield. Another little mesh variation, but this time we're going to get a rail route by the running back. And honestly, this is as he's trying to read the deep post, thinking about throwing that, a pretty good ball off the right side. I wanted to kind of highlight putting this in a place to catch it. I think Saquon ultimately didn't come up with it. It was a really nice play by the defender. But as he's kind of stepping, climbing, it's not a bad ball. It gives his guy a chance, especially his running back a chance. As you can see, he's trying to read middle and then climb and find the back late. Has to wear a hit when he's throwing it. Drop it in, catchable ball. Should have been a big play, but a nice play by the defender there. Back to the Cowboys game. Again, we're trying to highlight the good stuff with the bad inside all in one. I think this is where he gets into trouble. I just don't think consistently enough he is accurate on some of these in breakers. He'll sail them. He'll miss them high. He'll miss them too far out in front. He needs to be more, if he ever wants to be a quarterback that can be counted on to start 17 games, has to be far more accurate with those to make a difference. This time here we got stick spacing, so we're just going to get a stick route paired with a flat. He's got to read this invert player, right? Read coverage. Who's going to travel with my stick inside? 4 kind of does a little perfect bait and switch right here where he sells for a second, then drops under, reading the quarterback's eyes. Watch him sell and then drop back under. Pickett never sees him. Easy interception, especially bad interception when you're down inside your own